Hey guys, welcome back to Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, episode 43. Sam Curran has just announced himself on the world stage. We've got Virat Kohli's epic effort. Ben Stokes is back to its best. And would someone please move David Milan from the slips? Today we're going to break down each innings, the key moments, and give out the first ever Leading Edge Cricket game ball to who we deem to be the player of the match. I'm Rob, one half of the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, and today I'm joined by my co-host Rich.
Morning, how's it going, mate?
We're doing very good, thank you. You must be in high heaven. 2 wins today.
Doing all right. Yeah, that club side got a nice 20-point win, nice easy victory. So it was done by about 5:30. So, you know, an early win's always a good win.
Early win's always a good win. You're in the bar early, or you can podcast early. And
yeah, exactly. Committed, mate.
I heard you came in and played for your average towards the end.
Yeah, faced about over. 1 not out. Thank you. Add it on. One more run for the average.
All count.
Yeah, mate, I'm averaging 57 this year, you know.
And where did you bat in the batting lineup?
Number 5. I'm slowly moving up the order. And it should be. I'm averaging 57 because I've only been out once and I've scored 57 runs this year. So it's not like I've been scoring heaps and heaps of runs, you know.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough. Captain, if you listen to this, you need to give your head a shake. Rich has got my game ball of the day. 1 not out. Got you home.
Yeah. Talking of the captain, didn't give me a bowler, did he? Did he? Hey, Harry, you're listening.
Tension in the ranks. I love it. So getting into this, what has been an absolute enthralling contest. It's done in 3.5 days worth of cricket. But it doesn't have to go 5 days test cricket to be an absolute spectacle, does it?
Not at all, mate. It's been an absolute brilliant test match. We need more of this. Plenty of people in the stadiums watching the game, plenty of people engaging in it. I heard someone say it the other day, I can't remember who it was, it might have been George Doble or somebody like that from Cricket Info, somebody of that sort of ilk. If this was on domestic television, people would be going mad about this test match. People would be going, getting crazy on it. This is the sort of game that would have got people really engaged into the sport. So, people question test cricket. Get this on terrestrial television, and I'm telling you, a lot of people would be going absolutely wild for this. So, brilliant test match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was enthralling. I missed quite a bit live, but I managed to catch up on all the highlights as we go. And intermittently, between baby feeds in the middle of the night, we get up and we're up for a couple of hours, and it's like, Kohli's still batting. Every time I wake up, Kohli's still batting.
It's a good job Virat Kohli was batting, isn't it?
It bloody well is. Interesting enough, before the test series started and the test match started, we put it out to our Twitter gang and we said, hey, who's going to win this test match? And it was an overriding India, like 80% India. And even to the start of day 4 today, I said, who's going to win? Is it going to be Kohli? Is it going to be England? Or is it who's Kohli? 61% said King Kohli is going to get the win for India, 24% England, and 15% didn't know who Kohli was.
24% of people out there know what they're talking about. That's all I'm going to say. I'd just like to throw out my fantastic premonition of a tweet earlier. If we get a wicket, early, if one of the guys go early, we win. If Kartik and Kohli was to bat the first half hour, India win.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep, take it. The man knows. It always comes down to, whenever you listen to commentary on cricket, they sit there and they talk about the first half hour's key. The first half hour's key. And then you go through and you get to half hour before the end. It's the last 15 minutes is key, just before lunch. Then you start the next session. It's first half hour's key. It's like the bit in the middle doesn't really matter.
There's a lot of keys. All right,
there's more keys
jangling. Exactly. So, shall we have a run through the test match then, mate? Shall we see what happened?
Yeah, let's start on day 1. Where do we begin?
Well, day 1, I was going to say how we won, but we can start from the top if you want. England batted first, 287 all out. Question marks remained, didn't they? David Milan fails, got a score of 8. Jennings 42. They were the 2 question marks for us going in, wasn't it? Cookie 13, dismissed by Ashwin. It got dismissed in exactly the same fashion in the second innings as well. A turning ball from Ravi Chandran. Disappointing test match for Cook, really, all in all. Cook dropped on 9, got himself to 42, papered over a few cracks, but I can still see Keaton. Still a question mark. Then it was Root and Bairstow, wasn't it? 80 and 70 respectively, put on a big partnership. England looked like they were cruising, no drama. This is going to be a big test match for England, big win. And then Root, bizarrely, was run out by Bairstow, it must say. And then Bairstow went quickly after. Stokes didn't look particularly good. Butler went for none. blah, blah, blah. Curran batted well, 24 not out. 24 before he was dismissed.
Yeah.
And then Rashid, Broad, Anderson, whatever, nothing really to talk about. I thought, Mohammad Shami was a pick of the Indian seamers.
Yeah.
Umesh Yadav didn't quite get going. He got the Bairstow wicket chopping on.
Yeah.
But it didn't really get going. Sharma looked okay, but it was really Ashwin, wasn't he? He bowled tremendously in the first innings.
Yeah.
So I think that was the story where we were at that point. You would say that was under par, or would you say that was pretty much, kind of looking at the pitch, it was probably an okay sort of par performance for England?
It's another cliche comment, but sometimes you're not quite sure until you see the opposition bat. That's what I'm going to stay here. I've been listening to the commentary again.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair, actually. Until both sides have batted, you don't really know what you're up against. But one thing we did think on the first day is that, damn, you should have played Jadeja.
Yes.
Why did you play Pandya? You don't need that extra seamer. It's going to be all about the spinners. England, why didn't you play your second spinner?
Yeah.
Didn't need it. It was swinging that much in the game, wasn't it? It was when the bowlers of both sides were bowling well, especially the seamers. It really, really wasn't about the spinners, but Ashwin did look a class above in this game. So India first innings as well. It was a strange one. Murali Vijay and Shikhar Dhawan looked pretty good, but they got to 50 inside 14 overs, and it's very, very ominous. I'm not going to name check anybody again for their brilliant tweet, so don't worry about that. If anyone listened to the last pod, you'll know what we're talking about. But then suddenly it just sort of went wrong very quickly. Didn't it? Vijay went. KL Rahul went, 2 balls later. Sam Curran was on fire. Dhawan went not long after. Suddenly 3 down for 59 from 50 for none at one point. Yeah. So really impressive. Sam Curran, that's what announced him onto the stage, wasn't it? Suddenly, wobbling that ball, bowling nice and full, getting a little bit more pace out of it. I think we kind of questioned the selection a little bit, not because we don't rate him as a cricketer, but just because he's not really bowling at a right pace.
Yeah.
But he's bowled much, much better lick in this test, hasn't he? He's kind of early to mid 80s rather than late 70s to early 80s. So that made a massive difference. Nobody else for India really troubled the scorers. Karthik, none. He was disappointed with that, but 149 from Kohli off 225 balls, 22 fours, 1 at 6. He was imperious. It was one of the finer sort of test match innings. And when you think about how poor Kohli played in England previously, was it 2014? This was just a top effort. He's kind of shrugged his shoulders as he would do, the master that he is. It's not about my runs, this, that and the other. This was massive for Kohli. This was huge.
Yeah.
Don't think he needs help in his confidence, but this was a huge knock from him. And it's proven to him and to everybody that this man can play in England as well.
Yeah, he's a hell of a cricketer, and we really went into depth, didn't we, on the last podcast about the first 2 days of Test cricket and just how enthralling it was and how great Kohli was. It really was. Take the game by the scruff of the neck. You are going to get me out over my dead body. And we spoke about his technique as well, saying how much better he was. He was playing the ball later. He was pushing at it less. He was very, very cautious against Jimmy Anderson because he knew he was in trouble. Only scored 6 runs off him off about 60 balls. But against everyone else, that's where he targeted. And that's what you do as a really good batsman. You see out your Glenn McGraths or your Shane Warnes and you try and score runs off someone equally as good like a Jason Gillespie at the other end. But you pick the bowlers that you fancy yourself to be able to score runs against and go, this is the guy. If he's bowling well, I've just got to try and bat and stay here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about, wasn't it, before? Is just, play the ball a little bit later. Don't go hard at it. Don't go pushing too far away from your body. I mean, you look at, we'll come on to it in a minute, but I think, who was it? Was it Jennings in the second innings? I forget now. It was one of the England players in the second innings. They were playing really far out in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
On a swinging day. England players should know better about this. It's bad enough for an Indian player, an Indian batsman, but it was really sensible from Kohli. He's obviously gone away. He's done his homework. He knows now how he should be playing, and he showed it. He was absolutely superb for India, scoring 200 runs out of the what do they score here? 340 odd runs. So not bad going from Mr. Kohli. With the ball for England, Broad wicketless, but I thought he bowled okay.
Yep.
Jimmy 2 for 41, bowled pretty well. Rashid got 8 overs. Didn't really need him. He bowled okay, didn't he? Picked up a couple of wickets. Shouldn't get too carried away. He did get the last wicket of the innings, which was a certain Mr. Kohli. So shouldn't kind of just brush over that too much. But it wasn't the best of balls, I don't think.
Yes.
Short and wide one.
Yeah.
Still in the books as a wicket. And he got Sharma as well, so that's not anything dramatic. Stokes got a couple, and Sam Curran, though, 4 for 74. He's looking like a talent, isn't he? He's 20 years old. He can do a bit of everything, and I think that takes us nicely to England's second innings, doesn't it?
You are nailing these segues lately, brother.
Ooh, Alistair Cook, man. What we're going to do with Cook? He gets 180 in the England Lions against India A, and in this game he's scored 13 runs in 2 innings, and again, an identical dismissal bowled by Ashwin. That's not what I want to see from a number one batsman.
Yeah. Very interesting attack as well. It was done in one-day international cricket, then T20 cricket, but to have Ashwin opening the bowling in a Test match with the new ball, it's almost unthinkable. And he's doing it, and he's doing it to great effect. Look at that top order. The first 3 wickets fall to spin.
Absolutely. I mean, the first innings, he was first change, wasn't he?
Yep.
And then it was like, wow, right, get him on as quick as possible. So he was on. He opened the bowling. Mohammad Shami, he deserved the new ball. He was first change in the first innings. Second change, if you like. First change seamer. So he deserved the new ball, but he did go wicketless. But Ashwin, opening the bowling. You would expect this in Sri Lanka, maybe Pakistan, or even to a certain point India, but you would not expect to see a spinner opening the bowling in England. So really, really good captaincy, something different. Ashwin did also pick up another 2 wickets. He got Jennings and Root. So not very often are you going to see the spinner taking the first 3 men from the England lineup. So Cook gone for none, like I say, absolutely identical. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but just if you don't, just go and have a look at it. Just go and look at both dismissals. It's just ridiculous how identical the 2 dismissals are. So that's something Cook needs to work on. Keaton Jennings, what can I say? I just don't like his technique. I think that's my problem with him. I don't like the look of him at the crease. I hope he does well. I think he'll obviously get more opportunity, but it just doesn't work for me at the minute. Root kind of didn't really get going, did he? Again, nicked off. And this was the one, actually, he just worked around the corner, didn't he?
Straight at leg slip. Straight out.
Yeah, and it was strange as well, wasn't it? Bairstow kept trying to play that ball round the corner as well. It was just bizarre. It's the leg slipping. Stop playing it. Pad up. Just throw your bat in the air. So middle order really kind of flattered to deceive, didn't it? Milan got himself a few runs. Bairstow got himself a few, but nobody got going. And it was at this point, really, England 86 for 6. 87 for 7 with but the second failure in the Test match. Stokes' second failure as well. India are well on top of this. This is the point where you're saying, well, actually, there's probably going to be a result in this Test match.
Yes.
If India can come out after lunch, take some early wickets, and really put the pressure on England, then they could probably have this knocked off by the end of the day. But the Test match just twisted and turned from this point, didn't it? And it was all about man of the match Sam Curran. 63 off 65, Rob. What do you think about this? I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, exceptional. Great maturity beyond his years at the age of 20 to be able to do that. It kind of reminded me in a way, and it's different player, but the sort of thing that a Graham Swan would used to do down the order for England, where it didn't matter the situation. He was going to be positive. He was going to try and score some runs, because generally when you're batting down the order, there's a ball with your name on it. And why just try and hang around and get England up to 120 when I can... if the ball's there, I'm going to put my hands through it. I'm going to score some runs. And he showed great maturity batting with the tail. But the England tail, yes, it's got the ability to get knocked over, just like the top of the order. But when you've got Rashid and Broad coming in at 10, Broad can still hold a bat. I know he struggles against fast bowling and the short ball, but he's still a good batsman. So it just incredible maturity. And again, you talk about announcing yourself on the world stage. Well, he did it with the ball, and now he's gone and done it with the bat. And all of a sudden, England will be going, well, if we've got Curran, and we've got Stokes, and we've got Rashid who can bat, and we've got Broad who can bat, we're batting down to 10 every single time.
I think you're doing Jimmy a disservice, to be honest, batting down to 10. Poor old Jimmy. The thing I really liked about Sam Curran is, firstly, he said in the post-match stuff that he learned watching Kohli. So as the Test match went on, he was saying, do you know what, actually, I've got a different way of playing against Ashwin. And he went back and he played everything off the back foot to Ashwin, when everybody else, the likes of Jennings, etc., are really trying to prod forward and push, which obviously wasn't working. So brilliant for that. But then as he was getting close to his 50, he suddenly went, do you know what, I've had enough of Ashwin here. And he plonked him back over his head twice.
He did.
I think it was a 6 and a 4.
Yeah.
I think Ashwin went for 11 or more off that over, and that was take a blow, rather, So brilliant counter-attacking batsman. And then to bring up his 50, he was getting up to 50, wasn't it, at that point? But to bring up his 50, he kind of backed away and absolutely plonked. Was it Ishant Sharma?
Ishant Sharma, back up over
plonked.
cover.
extra cover for 6 to bring up your first ever 50 in Test match and his second ever Test match.
Yeah,
just brilliant. That shows. We talk about it quite a lot. It's not just about the technique of the player or the talent of the player. It's also the character.
Yeah.
It's the way they conduct themselves. And Sam Curran's got it in spades, hasn't he? Whatever it is you need to play Test match cricket, he's got plenty of it.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. So he was the one basically that dragged England up to 180 to set India a total of 194, which really at lunch, England didn't look like it was going to get anywhere near that total. Looked like it was going to be 120 chase for India. India win, job done. You know, we're all picking up over the bones of the England performance, but Sam Curran, man of the match performance, for his spell in the first innings, but also for his 63 in this one.
Yeah.
Wicket, Shami, he was a pick of the ball in the first innings, but none for 38 in the second. Ravi Ashwin got 3 for 59, 5 for 51 for Ishant Sharma, 2 for 20 for Yadav. Ishant Sharma, I thought, bowled brilliantly. I did not know where people were going to score off him as I was watching him bowl. He looked
superb,
fantastic.
Mate. He was really, really superb. He was holding the ball up well. He was bowling the in-swingers to the right-handers. And I can't think of a more satisfying wicket in cricket for me, for whatever reason, more aesthetically pleasing than seeing a right-arm bowler bowl around the wicket, swing the ball away to a left-hander, playing a drive and it getting caught at slip. And it absolutely had Malan and Stokes just done, absolutely done by the swing, and just a wonderful, wonderful piece of bowling, and some of the best bowling I've seen him do. The guy's up to 244 Test wickets now. He's been around forever, it feels. 2006 he was playing in England in the Under-19 World Cup or something along that. Sky did a little video of him bowling in that, and he was bowling at the same speed at 19 years old, or 18 years old as what he was here. So incredible performance by him. He's now the 7th highest Indian wicket taker of all time, and sometimes I look at him and I go, you never quite lived up to the potential you had when I saw you bowling at Ricky Ponting and getting him out and causing him problems in Australia, and he could have done better, but he's still gone on and had a great Test career.
Absolutely, yeah, and doesn't he look smart now? He's had a trim of that hairdo as well. I mean, you know.
Wonderful.
The one thing I will say about Sharma as well, he enjoyed getting Dawid Malan out. I don't know quite why he enjoyed it as much as he did, but he enjoyed it that much. He's earned himself a demerit point and a 15% of his match fee for his send-off. So not quite sure what was said. It was only a level 1 offence. Apparently this relates to using language, actions or gestures which disparage or which could provoke an aggressive reaction from a batsman upon his dismissal during an international match. So he obviously said something, but it wasn't too bad, so it can't have been anything too offensive. Yep. He definitely looked like he enjoyed it. Of all the players to have got out to say that to, I'm not quite sure Malan was the one I would give up 15% of my match fee for at the minute. No disrespect, Mr. Malan. So that's where we were at that point. India's second innings, massive opportunity for Vijay Dhawan to really, really kind of nail down that opening partnership. Because obviously there's a certain Pujara on the sidelines at the minute. KL Rahul as well, he was under pressure. But none of them performed, did they? 46 for 3 India found themselves out after just inside 15 overs. So that was a disappointing start for India. Kohli comes to the crease. You know, in England are firing on it. Stuart Broad, at one point, I thought this was going to be one of Stuart Broad's famous sort of spells. Yeah. Once he gets on a little run, doesn't he? He starts getting people nicking off and, you know, getting the ball talking. Then you think he's going to get himself a 6 or 7, but you know, India did recover enough to make sure that Brody only got 2 for the innings. Kohli obviously came in. He really steadied the ship. Ashwin came in higher up the order. He came in at 6. Bit of a night watchman. I'm not quite sure their decision making, but he obviously wanted to protect Dinesh Karthik. But Karthik was in before the end of play, wasn't he? And it was all then about, you know, Kohli and Karthik. We spoke at length, really, didn't we, about Karthik being a finisher. If it wasn't for MS Dhoni, you know, the way he played in this year's IPL, I think we'd have been speaking a hell of a lot more about Dinesh Karthik with the way he played in that competition. So it was all about him and Kohli at this point, wasn't it? And it was one of those where you just... It was shades of 2005 Ashes, wasn't it, in Australia, where they needed about 80-odd to win on the final day. You know, 50-50 going into it. It was all about what Kohli and Karthik was going to do.
Yeah, it's an incredible effort, really. We sent a tweet out saying Karthik's the finisher. We talk about him as the finisher. Is he going to finish it here today? Is it going to be Kohli's ultimate Test match? 149 in the first innings, ends up 80, 90 odd not out in the second innings to take them home. And that was the situation coming into the start of day 4. But it wasn't to be. England were clinical this morning, and more clinical than what I've seen them in. It must be a year or so in terms of the bowling attack and the game situation. And it helps having people on song, like you're saying. Brody was bowling as well as what he'd done probably since the 2015 Ashes that I'd seen. He just had that momentum and he was bowling. He just looked like he's going to take a wicket every ball. Jimmy had it on a dime. And Ben Stokes, someone around here said Ben Stokes is going to have a great series. He might miss a couple of tests for being punchy, but he's having a great game. It's so good to have someone like him back in the England lineup and firing, because we remember the Ben Stokes. We remember the Ben Stokes that was a dangerous-looking bowler and a dangerous batting. His batting looks woeful at the moment, but he was dangerous this whole game with the ball.
Yeah, but you know what it's like when you're playing, Rob. I mean, we've both been lucky enough to, contribute with both bat and ball over the years, and if you're not doing so well on one side of it, if you can do well on the other side, it gives you confidence for the other. So if you're scoring runs, you've got confidence with the ball, even if you're not bowling well, and vice versa. And at least Stokes is bowling well and he's taking wickets, which we'll come on to in a moment. But it was all about this partnership with Kohli and Kartik. But obviously, Kohli was the man. If India were going to win, it was going to be Kohli scoring majority of the runs. But for me, as we came to the start of this final day today, it was Kartik was the key wicket early on for me. If we could remove Kartik, then it opens up. With all due respect to Pandya, Pandya is more of a white ball player at the moment, isn't he?
Yep.
But it opened up Pandya, Shami, Sharma, Yadav. I would then back myself to think that, okay, England, we're going to get a result here. And that's what happened, wasn't it? Kartik, we got him early. Milan caught one. He finally caught one. Oh. Jimmy A bowled beautifully early on today, and he just picks up wickets at the right times for England so often. And Milan, Joe Root said after the game, Milan's a really good slip catcher. He's got great hands, which is why they kept him in there even after we had some of the drops that we saw in the Test match. But this was the wicket for me. Get Kartik out. You put pressure on Pandya. And Pandya played pretty well. I mean, that was the partnership, wasn't it? Pandya got himself to 31, a very watchful 31. Kohli at the other end being very watchful as well. And they put on 30-ish.
Yep.
But then that Kohli wicket, I was saying to you just before we came on, Rob, I won't say where I was, but I was watching it and getting myself ready to go and play cricket today. And I just nipped off for 5 minutes to do something you've got to do for 5 minutes. And suddenly I just I can hear the TV downstairs going crazy. And that's it. LBW Stokes, golden arm Stokes come into it. I don't think that Stokes would have been bowling at that point if Sam Curran hadn't have damaged his hand. Because he just had a little bit of a cut on his hand just before that in fielding. And I honestly think they'd have probably gone to Curran.
Yeah, they would have done. Definitely would have done.
But that's the way you take your opportunities, don't you? Stokes, Kohli, LBW, bowled Stokes, 51. Not long after, Mohammed Shami caught behind, bowled Stokes, 3 balls Shami lasted. And then it was, it's down to Sharma and Pandya, isn't it?
Yeah.
We get a Adil Rashid sighting. He picks up a wicket, Ishan Sharma, for the second time in the game. And Rashid gets him LBW. So it's quite remarkable. And then it was just all about Pandya, wasn't it? Umesh Yadav, he tried to hang around, blocked out 8 balls. And Pandya just, he couldn't quite do enough on his own. I'm sure he sat there after the game thinking, I should have had a go at a bit more of this. I should have played my natural game a bit more. But that's where it left it. India fell short by 31 runs. A fantastic win for England, obviously by 31 runs. And a great all-round performance, really. Jimmy A, 2 for 52 for 43 for Brody, 1 for 18 for Curran in the second innings off 6, 1 for 9 off 4 for Rashid, but 4 for 40 off 14 for Ben Stokes. Just a brilliant spell to close out the game. And Sam Curran, I would say, rightly man of the match.
Yep, definitely. Couple of stats coming out of this. So, most test centuries for captains in a losing cause. Virat Kohli now finds himself top of that list, which is actually incredible considering they're number 1 in the world. But he's got 5 centuries in losing cause, and only Brian Lara has the same amount, which is...
That's interesting.
A phenomenal record. But then you look at the amount of runs that was actually scored in the test match. So Virat Kohli had a wonderful test match, scored 200 runs exactly. The rest of the team put together only scored 214. That's the problem they've got. England have got the same problem. Let's not crease over that. It was a bowler's game. It was definitely a bowler's game, and Kohli stood out. Sam Curran stood up, and that was really what was going on. But India have got a problem with their top six. They need to somehow try and find a way and get better very quickly to be able to play the red seaming ball. England, likewise, they need to work out who their openers are going to be, and they need to work out what they're doing with David Milan. There's a lot to do there. The other record that Kohli has set is Indians scoring 200 runs in a test match. Both innings combined. He now has gone past Sachin Tendulkar, the 11th time that he's actually gone and scored 200 plus runs in a test match. So that's a hell of a record, and he's a hell of a lot younger than Sachin Tendulkar and played a hell of a lot less games. So you can see the sort of company that his career is kind of keeping at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. He's hungry for runs, isn't he? He loves batting. So, yeah, I mean, Kohli's up there, isn't he? I mean, he's at the moment, you've got to say, he's number one in the world just for everything to do, the amount of runs he scores and the way he does it. Other players, people might argue that Root's maybe a more attractive batsman, but, I'd probably take Kohli at the moment. Kane Williamson, perhaps. Steve Smith. Steve Smith, is he still playing? They're the sort of guys, aren't they? That's the category. That's the top echelon, if you like. I'm probably missing somebody out, which someone will shout at me about, but that's the category, isn't it? And Kohli they're remarkable stats. I mean, scoring 200 runs in a test match 11 times. That's just actually think about that for a minute. That's an incredible achievement. Not many players do that. So the consistency of the man is incredible. And thank goodness, really, from an Indian point of view, that you do have Virat Kohli. This top six at the minute, it has massive question marks.
Yep.
Vijay and Dhawan at the top of the order. Vijay, he looked okay. Dhawan, I think he's one of those players. He's a bit like England, really. A lot of England batsmen where he's just caught a little bit between the two forms or the two codes. The 2020 and the Test match. How is he going to play? Has he got a clear idea of how he wants to play? Which shots he wants to play to what sort of ball? He got nicked off in the second innings, isn't he? Caught behind. And, caught in slip in the first innings off Dhawan. So that's something he's going to want to look at. KL Rahul, he was bowled by Curran in the first innings. Second innings, caught behind. So, in and around that off stump, big question marks in the top three. So it really is. You need to see. Obviously, you're not going to replace all three. That's just ridiculous. You're not going to do that. Don't need to do that. But there's going to be a threat to one of their places or one or two of those places before long. If they all play in the next test, then they need to make sure they score runs. They can't keep leaving it to Kohli at the top of the order. He can't keep coming in at 50 for 2 or whatever it might be, 40, 50 for 2. You need to get a better platform against this England attack.
I sometimes look at this India team and they're a great team. They're number one in the world for a reason. They're so good at home and in the subcontinent. But away, yes, they've had the problems. And I look at it and I go, the lineup doesn't have the same amount of names that it used to. You look in the 90s when you had Tendulkar, you would have had someone like Laxman, Dravid, Ganguly, all guys that average 50 to 55 in Test match cricket. I look at this team and there's a lot of guys that might average between 40 and 45. Rahane, I really like KL Rahul, but I think he's got a little bit of way to go. Shikhar Dhawan, same. Guys that aren't quite at the same echelon of previous generations, and Kohli's the glue that's really holding it together, and it helps when they've got their bowling attack bowling really well and a world-class spinner like they've got. So they're getting by on a few really, really quality players, and it feels like they're carrying a couple going into this test, but it could all change, because it does all change. They could play on an absolute belter of a wicket in the second test match. Darwan will smash a century on a flat wicket. Vijay will just bat all day, and Rahane could go in and get on with it near the end. That's perfectly possible. I just look at it and I go, it's not the same Indian team batting lineup wise that it used to be. I look at this Indian team and I go, it's better, more rounded, because I feel the bowling attack is better than it's ever been. The last 4 or 5 years, it's probably the best Indian attack of since I've been alive. That's the big change that they've had.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing, isn't it? Talking about the bowling side for a moment, is it's not just the quality of the individuals they've got; it's the depth they've got. I don't think there's any setup in the world at the moment, especially in the seam department. Well, both really, seam and spin. The depth of quality players they have. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Jasprit Bumrah were both injured for this Test match. Just let that sink in for a moment. That's probably your opening bowlers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Broad and Anderson being down, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, to a point, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. They maybe not quite achieved quite as much as those two boys yet, but I take the point completely. So those two boys, if fit, if they come back in, suddenly that might be, I don't know, Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Shami, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. or do you go for an extra bowler? Who knows? We can talk about that in a moment. But yeah, India, they're going to play well. This is going to be a great series. It's going to be back and forth. I predicted 3-2 if we don't lose any games to bad weather. So players will come good. They are too good to fail consistently. But I do wonder whether or not there may be an early change in this series for maybe get Cheteshwar Pujara in the lineup somewhere. Yes, he's not at the best of times in Yorkshire this year, but my goodness, he's got a great record overall for India. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't find his way in. Just want to throw another one out there for you, Rob, so you can kind of chat about them both. Dinesh Karthik's played pretty well. He found it a little bit tricky, but his glove work wasn't bad overall. Swinging ball, it's a difficult conditions to keep wicket on. Rishabh Pant is in the squad. He can keep wicket as well. I'd say he's a better batsman, certainly potentially, but he's probably going to be a better batsman going forward. I wonder, there's two batsmen. I wonder if they wanted to make a change.
I don't think this Indian team will change for the second test match.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is it's such a tight test match. There's not a lot between the two teams in English conditions whatsoever. And I think they won't change. And there'll be question marks. People will be feeling the pressure. You've got players like Nair on the horizon. You've got Jadeja if they want to bring in another spinner. They've got plenty of quality, and Steve Pujara that they can bring in. I just don't think they will jump and make a change. They've established themselves as number one in the world for a reason by having a consistency of selection across the board, and they've done it very well, and a lot of these players have played together over a long period of time. So I don't think India will jump just yet. However, if they get rolled in the second test, you will see changes.
Yeah. I think they'll be quite quick to react, won't they? There's too much talent. There's too much talent in this, especially in the batting lineup, for them to make too many rash changes. I'm sure that's the case, but it's just nice to know you've got those players. Pujara, I think there's more of a chance of Pujara playing in the second test than maybe we I don't know, maybe we realise, but that's probably the only one. And then it's the bowling, isn't it? Pandya. Do you keep him? I mean, he adds depth of batting. Ashwin could move up, but then if Ashwin does, you've got a four-man tail, haven't you? I don't want to be too disrespectful to the likes of Shami, Sharma, etc. But, that's the thing. If Kumar's fit or Bumrah's fit, you've got to get one or both of those in the lineup. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be really, really interesting to see how the selectors, how Ravi and how Virat want the team to look in the next test, which is coming up very, very soon. Over to England, Rob. We spoke about we're going to give a game ball out. So Sam Curran, man of the match, but who else in this England lineup do you think deserves a kind of a hat tip for their performance?
It's Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes this is the best I've seen him bowl. I'm trying to think. It could be 18 months, 2 years, the best that I've seen him bowl. I know he didn't play a lot of cricket in that time, but it's shown that he hasn't played a lot of cricket. And here it was almost like there was moments of the Ben Stokes of old. In the first innings, he had a spell. And, he didn't have a great overall innings, but he had a spell where he was like, oh, yeah, that's Ben Stokes. And then in the second innings, that's Ben Stokes. That's the Ben Stokes that England can hang the hat on and go, excellent, we've got a world-class all-rounder in a team. And I've been so harsh on him in his performance and questioning his position in the team. But when he does this, that's Ben Stokes. That's the Ben Stokes that England expect to see turn up for a test match. I know you can't bowl wonderfully every single time you step on the pitch, but he's been carried for quite a while, and it's good to see him, just come to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really pleasing to see. Obviously, the runs are a bit of a frustration for him at the moment. Hopefully that will come, but he bowled well in the county game before the test match, and he's obviously took wickets in this test match as well. So really, really good to see. The big talking point, obviously, for him, though, is after this test match finishes, I think probably is it Monday, his court appearance starts for, as you like to say, getting a bit punchy. So all the talk, I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but the talk is that he will miss the second test.
Yeah.
So that suddenly just puts into question the balance of the English lineup. I would probably, if I had to kind of put my head on the block at the moment, I would just say that I think Butler goes up to 6, and I think they probably recall Moeen Ali instead of Adil Rashid, and Ali becomes an easy spinner, unless for some miracle that the next test match is a nice. A nice spinning deck. But I think that's probably the obvious change, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Get Butler up the order. I mean, he scored some runs in the IPL. Surely he can bat at 6 in Test match cricket. Shots fired.
That's what's important in England selectors, isn't it? If you're scoring runs in white ball cricket, we'll get you a game in the Test match.
It definitely is. So I see two options. One, Stokes comes out and they bring in Moeen Ali, and Adil Rashid drops out and they bring in someone else. Part of me thinks they might not do that because they've just gone and set a precedent by going, Moeen Ali, you're not good enough. We're bringing in Adil Rashid, who's bowled 4 overs twice a week for the last year. You can come in and play Test match cricket instead. So I've got a feeling they might stay with Rashid and they might bring in a Chris Wokes and have Wokes bat at 7, Curran at 8, Rashid 9, Broad 10. It's hard to say what they'll do because I think last time we spoke, you was going, well, the obvious choice is Jamie Porter. He's in your 13-man squad, 12-man squad. Why don't you bring in Jamie Porter? And I just feel England will err on the side of caution. Chris Wokes is a very good bowler in English conditions, but err on the side of caution of making sure they've got enough batting in the lineup to cover the cracks. Because honestly, I don't think Malan or Jennings will be dropped for the second test. I think they'll be given a few test matches.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking your other point first. I mean, Moeen Ali was nowhere near the squad, so this was out of left field again, him coming back. It seems to be that, this selection policy at the minute, I don't really see the consistency of it or even see the logic of where they're trying to go or what they're aiming for. Moeen Ali's out of the picture, but we better keep putting him back in.
Yep.
There are players that haven't really played much cricket, but they're being called back in or called up. But then other players, as in Jack Leach, Don Best, they haven't played much cricket, so therefore we've got to go to Adil Rashid. It's all a bit bizarre to me at the moment. But I think if Stokes drops out, if you did bring in Moeen Ali for Rashid, that means you've still got a place for that other seamer. So you can bump Butler up to 6, maybe Curran to 7, Moeen to 7, Curran to 8, and then you've got room then to put Porter in if we want to have that consistency with the bowling. So that's maybe one option. Wokes definitely is another option. England, they're not. I think they'll go with whatever the best batting lineup is, and then however that shakes out with the bowling, that's how it will shake out. It just seems to me as if they're so obsessed about having a bowler that can bat at 8 or 9, and hold a bat, rather than actually having the best bowlers out there at the moment. Yeah. One other thing that makes me a little bit more confident that Porter might get a go is the fact that Curran was up in his speed a little bit. I didn't want Curran and Porter to be in the same side, thinking that they're both going to be bowling about 78 mile an hour. Respectively. It's not really much of a change of pace, is it? Yeah. It's the reverse change of pace, isn't it? Or a literal change of pace, if you like.
It is.
So, we shall see. And you said about Jennings and Milan, absolutely. Jennings, there's no way in the world Jennings is not playing in the next Test match. He scored 42 in the first innings. I'm focusing on the dropped on 9, but I'm sure you predicted that he'd be the top run scorer, so you're focusing on the 42 he scored. So that's not a problem.
I am. I need to. And, we spoke in the preview for the series going, he's not done a lot. He's gone and scored some runs in first-class cricket since he got dropped last year. He failed against Pakistan. I look at this and I say he's failed against India. If he plays on a better wicket next game and gets a fail again, then there's probably question marks. I don't think England will want to change Milan, even though he is severely struggling. His average is down to about 26, 27 in Test match cricket, and we spoke about hanging a hat on mediocrity with David Milan in the middle order just because he did well in the Ashes. I don't think they'll change him because they're going to have to change Ben Stokes, and they're not going to want too much disruption to that kind of top 6, top 7 of the England lineup. That's the only reason. But if we're going to seek a level of consistency from the England selectors, and this is left field, hugely left field, Keaton Jennings gets dropped. Alex Hales comes in as a white ball only contract player called in to play Test match cricket, and Rhys Topley gets an injection because he's a white ball only player to come in and take Stokes' position. That's the only way they're going to get any level of consistency.
Good Lord, man. Whatever you're drinking, please send me a bottle over.
It's in the Kool-Aid.
Jeez. It will be interesting, though. If there is a thought of getting rid of, not getting rid, that's a harsh way of putting it, but if there is a thought of maybe just dropping David Milan after his pretty ordinary run of form, and it's also the way he's getting out, isn't he? He's getting out playing defensively. It's not like he's trying to smash the ball. So if he can't not get out playing defensively, then there's not really much hope in his future of doing much of anything. Somebody that has scored a lot of runs this year in county cricket, more than Keaton Jennings, Rob. 656 runs for Somerset, an average of 50, high score of 184, a 63 strike rate as well, nice strike rate. He also has got a good pair of hands. important is James Hildreth.
Yeah, I think we spoke about Hildreth before and the potential for him to be an England player. He was touted to be for so many years, and he never quite went on to be the guy, even though he's playing at the guy sort of club where he can go and get it. So, could it be him? Hopefully, I'd like to see someone like him. I would be so disappointed, and I'm dropping the D word, not angry, I'm disappointed, if he got dropped and James Vince came into the lineup.
That would be horrific, wouldn't it? But he has played well with the white ball this year, so there's every chance the selectors will think that's the way to go. I don't know. I'm mindful that they might not change anything, but I think the way Ashwin bowled, coupled together with the lack of runs that Milan has scored, added together the fact that he has dropped a few catches in this Test match, I just wonder if now's the time. We're playing India as well. We're not playing against a second, third-rate Test outfit. Why not get your players in at the top of the game? Hildreth probably thinks his chance is gone. He's getting up in age now. He must be getting, early, I think probably mid-30s now. But a little bit like, you had Mike Hussey came late to the game, probably not this old, obviously. Jonathan Trott came late to the England setup. Yeah. Maybe it's just worth it, just to see how Hildreth goes for this series. Horses for courses. And then, maybe that might do him just after, a year or so of playing for England. But I don't know. Be an interesting one. That's probably the way I would like to see England go. There are some young blokes out there, but I just wonder if maybe someone like Hildreth might be the right man. It's not really looking to the future, but why not? The man deserves an opportunity.
Why not? Why not, Rich? So the second Test match is going to start on August the 9th. I'm saying August the 9th. I'm hoping that's not Kiwi August the 9th. That's August the 9th. Starts on an actual Thursday, which always makes you very happy about cricket. It should start on a Thursday and finish on a Monday.
Shouldn't we have a rest day on a Sunday and finish on a Tuesday?
Oh, even better. Even better.
That was when I first started watching cricket. There was no play on Sunday.
Incredible scenes. Incredible. And it's down at Lords as well, so that's a special Test match for the opposition. Yeah. And you normally see the opposition raise their game to go and play at Lords as well.
Yeah, we'll do a preview now, but I'm just going to kind of put it out there that I think India come back strong at Lords. Like you said, I think the opposition really up their game. They want to get the name on the board, don't they, for the 5s and the 100s. So I think Indian fans, you're going to be I think you'll be happier after the second Test than you all are at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll call it quits there, Rich. We will be back on Wednesday, the 8th of August, where we will drop you an England versus India preview Test match the night before the second Test match is due to start. Rich, anything else from yourself?
No, just long live Test cricket.
Long live Test cricket. Amen to that, brother. Thank you so much for listening, guys. You've been legends. Till next time.